That said, Mike Papantonio is with us, America's lawyer and host of Ring of Fire Radio, ringofireradio.com. Hey, Pap, welcome.
How are you, Tom?
I'm fine. I'm kind of sad about
very sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for Sean. I mean, he was a young guy, and I mean, they're both young. They're both younger than you and me, I think. So, Anyway, there's a lot going on in the world here. It seems to me that this show trial of President Obama that Boehner is proposing is a repeat of the Clinton impeachment without the downside bad press for the Republicans that they're using the I word and trying to remove the guy from office. That they'll be able to control, a year's worth of news cycles, get all their talking points out, all this kind of stuff. But they're not going to suffer in public opinion the way that they did when they tried to impeach Clinton. What do you think?
Well, it is. You hit it. It's impeachment without impeachment. And so what you have here is an overflow that's going to affect the Democrats in one way or another. You've got the underlying part of this, Tom, is the executive order issue. And they're trying to say that by way of executive order, this is a precedent that has that's affected family leave, that has affected same-sex couples by way of executive orders that would have been contrary to what Congress wanted to do. They're trying to say he's used executive orders in the worst kind of way to try to affect change in this country. And I think what's so good about it is that you have a precedent that's being created here. And I almost want to see this thing go through, and then we can go back and we can revisit the executive orders that affected wars that were based on lies, executive orders that affected the destruction of our environment from Republican presidents, executive orders that affected the destruction of middle class by our past Republican presidents. Orders, really executive orders, that really furthered the ability of K Street to further bribe congressional, Congress in one form or another. So I'm not so worried about this. I think it's just, you're right, it's a show place. It's a place for them to launch their ideas. But truthfully, it's a bad precedent for Republicans. Because, there's a lot of people that could use the same avenue and make Republican presidents look like the horrible failures that they were.
But I think the bet they're making, and I'm guessing they'd win the bet, is that they'll impeach a president. They'll do scandal mongering all day long. But when a Republican's in office, the Democrats just don't. That's not how the Democrats work. I mean, there were so many opportunities during the Bush presidency for Democrats to call him out as a war criminal and have hearings and all kinds of stuff, and they never did any of it.
Well, that's the problem here. You see, this would create a new precedent, but you're right. If we look at the dismal leadership qualities of Democrats, where it comes to fighting, showing up at a knife fight with a knife rather than a rock.
Yeah, or with a chainsaw.
Exactly. But Democrats will never get that. But hopefully, at some point, Democrats will start saying it's a new world out there. This is a new way of politics, and we have to do these things. So if this is a precedent that I kind of hope they do push, because it does give people an opportunity, especially it could be a taxpayer kind of lawsuit. It really comes right down to it.
You may be absolutely right. I mean, Harry Reid calling out the Koch brothers on the floor of the Senate. He's been talking lately ways that I haven't heard since FDR's speeches in '36.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love to see that side of Harry Reid. As you know, over the years, I've been a little critical on his inability to get mad, and the fact that he is getting mad actually might empower some of these do-nothing Birkenstock Democrats that simply, are living in the 1930s, and they believe they're progressives, but they're progressives without any power, without any anger, and without any direction to fight back in the way that they're being fought. Yeah. And so until that changes, Democrats are always going to be a victim, no question.
Meanwhile, the Koch brother millionaire meeting out in California happened last week, and some word has leaked out that they had a strategy meeting on Keystone XL. Now, the Koch brothers are the largest non-Canadian owners of tar sands oil up in Canada, and they own refineries down in Texas, Louisiana, wherever, where the pipeline will end up, they're set to make billions, tens of billions, maybe even $100 billion if this thing goes through. What do you know about this?
Well, first of all, a large part of the meeting, the meeting, as you've I think already covered, was held in California. He invited the Koch brothers invited all their billionaire pals, and they had about 4 areas that they were really trying to kind of create a narrative going into 2014 and 2016. One of the major areas was in climate change. And what they did, Tom, is they came up with talking points that were built around Keystone is almost kind of like a metaphor. I mean, Keystone is going to represent these ideas, and here they are. Keystone is going to represent that the Democrats are anti-jobs because they're trying to destroy Keystone, and Keystone brings jobs, even though it's only 35 permanent jobs. Or that Keystone equals growth, and the Democrats are trying to defeat Keystone, therefore they're anti-growth, even though the growth is ridiculous. This notion that Keystone's going to bring in oil to the U.S. is ridiculous. The oil's going to the Gulf, and then it's going to places like Asia and Europe. It's not coming here. And the other thing is that Keystone equals energy independence. And if the Democrats fight Keystone, they are not in favor of energy independence. So, and it's almost an argument that if you don't agree with Keystone, it's un-American. These Frank Luntz kind of talking points were devised and established in California just about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
They were put together on paper in California, and now the first thing we start seeing is Senator John Barrasso this week using exactly these talking points because he is the Koch brother errand boy. He's the one that's supposed to launch these talking points, and that's why we're hearing them right now.
It's an amazing commentary on the up is down world of the Republicans, because all of those talking points truly do apply to things like solar and wind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, opposition to solar and wind is going to reduce jobs. Supporting it would encourage jobs. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's that turnaround that Luntz uses.
Yeah, there you go. America, yeah, exactly. Take your enemy's strongest point and use it against him. Flip it upside down. Tell the big lie. America's lawyer, host of Ring of Fire Radio, ringofireradio.com, Mike Papantonio. Pap, it's always wonderful having you by on the show.
Tom, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be right back.